Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to today's maths lesson. You can see from today that we have finally moved on from multiplication and division. It's only taken us till the first week in February, but we are moving on from multiplication and division, and we are starting something new up till half term. We are going to look at something called area, okay? Something brand new. You've not looked at this before, but I know you're all going to be absolutely fantastic at it. So, some questions to get us going, to get us warmed up. I'd like you to have a go at those questions, please. See what you can do with those. Pause the video and then come back to me. Off you go. Okay, so first of all, what is a 2D shape? A 2D shape is a shape that, like the name says, has two dimensions. It has a length and it has a width or a height. Okay, now 2D shapes, things like squares, triangles, rectangles, circles, parallelograms, rhombuses, etc. Okay, you can't actually hold a 2D shape. You got. If we're being honest, you can't hold it because as soon as you hold it, it has a length, it has a width, and it has a thickness, or what we call a depth. It has a thickness because you can hold it. That means it has 3 dimensions because it's a 3D shape. Okay, so you might say that this post-it note that I've got here is a square. Okay, actually, it looks like a square, and it's a good way of showing a square, but only if it was flat. Okay, it's only got that way. It would have a length and it would have a width. But because I can hold it, it might only be very thin, but it's got a thickness. It's got a 3rd dimension, so technically that is a 3D shape. Okay, but if I can draw it down on paper, okay, it's a 2D shape. A 3D shape, like I said, is something that has a length, a width or height, and a depth. It has a thickness to it, so it has 3 dimensions. Shapes like that include cubes, spheres, cuboids, cylinders, pyramids. Okay, we're going to find out about those later on in the year, but that's the difference between a 2D and a 3D shape. Now, can you name these shapes here? Well, the first one's easy, isn't it? It's a triangle. However, you can see there's 2 types of triangle there. So what's the name of this one? Well, in this one, all of the sides are equal and all of the angles inside are equal. That might give you a clue. That is an equilateral triangle. In an equilateral triangle, all the sides are the same length and all the angles are the same size. Let's move on to our next one. Next one, we've got a rectangle and a circle and a square. And what type of triangle have we got in the end? Well, we've got a triangle where 2 of the sides are the same, one of them's different. That type of triangle is an isosceles triangle. Okay, not actually spelled right, I've just noticed. There should be another S there. Okay, I'll have to correct that in a moment. And part 3, what do these symbols mean? We have been using these all year, so hopefully we know this. Okay, the first one means greater than. And you can use these cubes to help you imagine that the cubes on the left are greater than the cubes on the right, because we read it in that order, left to right, don't we? Middle one is obviously equal to, and the last one is less than. Okay, the red cubes are less than the yellow cubes, for instance. Okay, let's get on with our new learning for today. First of all, before we've even done anything, have a go at question 1 on the worksheet. Off you go and come back. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I want you to have a look at these shapes for me. What do all of those shapes have in common? All of those yellow shapes, all are made up of 4 squares, 4 exactly similar squares, what we call congruent squares. They have the same area. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares in each one. Okay, so what is area then? Well, watch. That's the area there. The area is the amount of space taken up by a 2D shape. It's the space inside. Okay. What do you think the area of these shapes is going to look like? Well, the area of the triangle is going to look like that. Okay, it's the same shape as the triangle. And of this next shape, which is actually a pentagon because it has 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4th little one, and a 5th one on top. 5 sides is a pentagon. That's what that one's going to look like. How's this one different though? We can't have an area for the final one because it's not what we call a closed shape. It's got a little gap at the bottom there. Okay, you can just see that there. It's got a gap, so we can't have an area for that. You got to imagine like sort of the water would pour out of it. Okay. Okay then. So how could we find the area of this shape? How could we say what the area is and put a value on it, put a number on it? Well, here's Tiny, and Tiny's got an idea. Let's see what Tiny's idea is. We could fill the space with something and count how many fit inside. That sounds like a great idea, Tiny. Let's do that. Oh, okay, right. So he's got some counters and he's filled them up and he says there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 counters. So do you agree with Tiny that the area is 14? Is it? Oh, little chappie's come along. But what about all those gaps? You can still see all those little grey bits. Okay, so the counters are all right, but they don't fill up all the spaces. So why don't we try a different shape, he's saying. I like this. He's not leaving any gaps. Brilliant. And we can count those up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. That's better. So the area is 12. Well, we'll say 12 squares, shall we? Now, I like that one because there's no gaps. Let's have a look at this one. See what you think. This girl is saying that she's found the area of that shape there. The area is 12. This little guy is saying that he's found the area, and the area is 11. And this little lady's come along, and she's found the area by doing that. She said the area is 20. Who do you agree with? And most importantly here, for why? Okay, just write down a little sentence on your sheet. Who do you agree with? Whose area is correct? 12, 11, or 20? Which one do you think? Well, it's sometimes easy to think about why are the others incorrect. Okay, the first one, the yellow one, is incorrect because she's got some overlapping. She's not covered all the spaces up. Okay, the blue one is incorrect because although he's covered all the spaces, not his squares that he's filled them up inside aren't the same size. Okay, whereas the last one, she's filled all the spaces, no gaps are left, and the squares she's filled the space with are the same. Okay, so the red one on the end is the correct way of doing it. Okay, I'm going to show you pairs of shapes now. I want you to compare them using less than, greater than, or equal to. Okay, so is the small triangle less than, greater than, or equal to the large shape? The area, the blue space inside. Well done. It's less than. The small triangle, the area of the small triangle is less than the area of the big triangle. Ooh, the circle and the donut. Which one has the bigger area? Well done if you said that the circle has a greater area, okay, because the donut's got this little bit popped out the middle. Okay, so the circle is greater than the donut, or the area is, I should say. What about these shapes? Which of those shapes has the biggest area? Well, you can count up the squares and see that they both have 4. So that one is equal. Okay, year 4. They have an equal area. Can you draw a shape with a smaller area and another with a larger area than those? And do that on your sheet so I can see that in your work later on? Have a go at that. Perhaps you did one that was a little bit like that and used did you use a what we call an inequality, less than symbol? Oh, we've got another one there. okay, using an area of 6. Year 4. Today is just about discovering area and getting started with it. Okay, so not too much. Have a go at the rest of the worksheet, and I can't wait to see what you've got. Okay, if you want a little bit of an extra challenge, why not go and find the area of something at home, see if you can fill something up with squares. Okay, but don't annoy your parents too much. Speak to you later.